What's up, guys? It's Jeff. After being a little bit of MIA for a few, being sick and then out of town for a work conference, I am back, hopefully with a video that's going to help somebody out with holsters for the Stealth Arms Platypus. So I have been looking and looking and looking, and there's not very many, if any. I couldn't find any holsters that are dedicated to the Stealth Arms Platypus right now. So I'm going to go through and just show you what I've done with the holsters that I've ordered. So keep in mind, this is for the 4 1/4 inch commander length Stealth Arms Platypus. It does not have the full rail, and it has a rounded trigger guard. So this may or may not work if you have a different variation. It could require some additional modification. But your experience may vary. However, I have a few that I found, and they work. I did have to do quite a bit of modification to the point where it may void the manufacturer warranty. I don't know, but just keep that in mind. If you may not want to modify your holster as much as I did. What I did is, I don't think it's going to affect reliability in any sense. I'm pretty confident of that. If I thought that it was going to, hinder the reliability, then I wouldn't have done it. But I'm going to show you a few different options that I have. 1 light bearing, 2 non-light bearing, and I'll let you know what model of gun I used when checking out, essentially. So what model of gun I used in the build that with some modification has worked. So we'll go ahead and start with the T-Rex arms. So I did a video comparing the T-Rex arms and the Tier 1 Concealed Axis Elite. So if you want to see, my thoughts on the 2 different holsters, 2 different companies, definitely check it out. That would be appreciated. So this is the T-Rex arms sidecar holster. So just to first mention, I ordered the mag carrier and the holster part separately. So I didn't add on the holster, the magazine carrier, when I was building this. I went in after this part, the actual holster was added to my cart, and then I did a separate magazine carrier for a Glock 17 magazine. So that's how I was able to get a Glock magazine with the holster. This holster mold that I selected was the Staccato P. So it does fit, but I had to do some pretty heavy modification. Had to add in a second little spacer for each of the 4, where the 4 screws are. So I did have to do that. I had to buy longer screws, but I mean, it works. There's no retention issues. I was able to get it to where it works pretty perfectly. I'm also running the SRO, so that required me to go in and file down a little notch area on the holster. But I mean, clicks in. Obviously, the magazine works because it's for a Glock mag, but no issues whatsoever. And it does give you that, click into place that everybody likes to hear. So that is the first one for today. I went with the multicam black pattern. And I also flipped the wing from the forward position to the rear position. So that one works. I really like it. It works really well, no issues. So next we will go with a Tier 1 concealed Axis Elite. Now, this one that I ordered it for the Prodigy. So a 4¼ inch Prodigy. Trying to see what 2011, what double stack 1911 model would work. What's the closest? Online, there's very little comparison between the 2011 models that will show, you know, the difference in the height of, you know, the Platypus and a Staccato or a Prodigy or whatever the double stack, you know, 1911 or 2011 might be, to the point where you can kind of gauge on where the holster, how that fitment is going to be. So I wanted to get a few different models just to see what would work best. So again, Tier 1 concealed Axis Elite for the Prodigy. I would not recommend ordering the Prodigy mold. If you have a Stealth Arms Platypus, this one required. So this was the hardest one for me to kind of get to where it'll fit, but it does fit. So kind of have that lock in, that little click again. Now the difference is with Tier 1, you can't order the magazine carrier separately. So this magazine carrier is for the Prodigy magazines, which is a very, very, very different shape from a Glock magazine. So this required, you know, changing out I'm not sure if you can see it, the little spacer in there with one from a different holster that I had to make it smaller. And then I basically just had to tighten it down all the way down. But it does work. Again, no retention issues, no issues with anything coming out, and comes out easy. You get the kind of click in again. So I made it work. I got it to work. Definitely don't recommend the Prodigy mold if you have a Platypus. So the last one I have for today is going to be a light bearing holster. This is Axis Elite from Tier 1, but with their Staccato P mold. So this one required, I think, the least amount of adjustment. Had to add in a small extra spacer for these 3 screws right here. Again, had it from other holsters that I have, so it wasn't that big of a deal. This one was the closest fitting out of the box, but the point of retention is going to be on the light, so that's why it's going to be the most similar, or the closest fit out of the box. That's what I've found. So again, you have that really loud click, fits much cleaner than the Prodigy. And then again, can't buy the magazine carrier separately, so this is for a Staccato magazine. Ended up just tightening the spacer way down and it works. But again, no retention issues, not gonna fall out, slides in and out pretty easily. I've worn all of these, no issues or anything like that. I bought a few other holsters too. Really, this was out of my curiosity as to what holster, if any, is gonna work right from the get-go, and I didn't find any. One company, I'm not talking bad about them, I'm just saying it doesn't fit. They have one for just 2011s in general. I purchased that one, didn't work. Again, it was just, what I found is that the top portion is just, whatever it is, it's different for the platypus, and it just wasn't fitting right. So I got one of those, didn't really work, didn't really like it. It was really thick. To each their own. I have other holsters from that company for other guns, and they work just fine, and I really like them. So could have just been that one. I got a 1911 one from Tier 1, just their, I think it's the Xiphos. So it's not a sidecar, it's just their, you know, just the gun holster. Not the Xiphos, it's the, I can't remember, but it's the one that's just the gun. I got it for a 1911, did not work, way too thin. Even with trying to modify it, adding some spacers, it was way too wonky, was not gonna work. So what I found is just, so far I think I have six or seven holsters. The Staccato P works the best out of the box if you have a light bearing holster. If not, the Staccato P is still the closest with some modification. So again, it's going to be up to you if you want to modify it or not. I don't have a problem modifying the holsters. Again, do it at your discretion. If you want to, that's fine. If not, that's also okay. I don't know if it's going to void any warranties or not, but again, I wasn't too concerned about that. And my, you know, question of which holster straight from the company that's going to work best kind of outweighed that. So again, T-Rex arms with the Staccato P mold works really well. If you can add in some spacers, Tier 1 Axis Elite. I'm not going to show you the Prodigy one. Staccato P works really well. Again, just a little bit of modification. And then, yeah, you're good to go. So I hope that helps out. Like I said, I couldn't find any right out of the box, but these with a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of, you know, finagling, I was able to get them to work. So I hope that helps. So if, let me know what you think. If you have a holster that you found that works right from the company, please let me know. I would definitely be interested in finding out, trying that out, and let me know what you think. So yeah, with that, I will see you guys later.